Hi, my name is Kirk Hunter, and what you're about to see is a very eclectic view of the film and video industry here in Austin, Texas.
Hope you enjoy it. It's Naked Slacker!
Well, I guess primarily out of work, at least in the film biz.
Artist, set designer, script writer, art director.
Well, I like it. I'd like to scam off about $1 million bucks per picture, like old Dino would do.
Everything from burning up cockroaches to ad agency type finals where they're trying to create their own television commercial, and obviously everybody knows sex sells.
A lot of productions here, but
Some people are making money.
yeah, some people are. I guess, I mean, it could be the same in LA. I don't know. I haven't been there. But then I hear all these stories about people that go out there and get work right away.
I think that there's a lot of room for small parts right now, and I can't imagine that it's going to get any smaller. I think that, again, going back to desktop video, I think...
Well, I think it'd be a little hypocritical for me to criticize that, being that if Arnold were to call me up and say, Lynn, you want to work on T3, I'd say yes, you know, and I think a lot of people here would.
Filmmaking and TV, what have you, it's a big business. It's a big money-making business. I mean, the bottom line is, I mean, acting and the whole circle of entertainment is a business. People have to realize that.
There are, and I don't know everybody, but I definitely feel like I'm a part. I've definitely put in the hours and made the money, so it's proof to me that I'm involved.
When you come in with an attitude, and this is something that I try to convey to producers, when you come in here with an attitude that I am so much better than you are, and I know more than you do, and I'm not going to pay you, you know, anything just because I'm so much better, my advice to them generally is that you shouldn't treat anybody that way, but Texans don't handle that very well.
Anybody that wasn't Abby normal, as Mel Brooks says, probably wouldn't want to be in this business. We were just talking about it in the lobby the other day. I mean, why would you want to be in this business unless you were nuts?
I think in terms of computer graphics and computer-generated film and video, as long as you're using the technology to get your ideas and your imagination across and not having technology for its own sake, then it's just another tool for artists to use.
What kind of filmmaker or video maker do you consider yourself?
I haven't gotten to make my film yet, but I've made lots of videos. I work as a first AD on films, and I like that. But what kind of films? I probably would be, when I do it, which I will do soon, as a director, an avant-garde type, kind of basing documentary in with a story. I'm real big on stories.
What kind of stories?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of like supernatural, psychic phenomenon, weird phenomenon that happens.
Well, basically, I guess I consider myself being an amateur video maker, in the sense that I really don't get paid. You know, it's all freelance and low budge. But actually, I consider myself as to doing documentaries. You know, I've been shooting music videos for several years now, and I started out thinking individual videos or individual sets, pieces. But now what I figured out in the long run is I'm just going to I've planted the seeds and I got to wait for them to grow. And pretty soon, years of work, then I'll turn around and get some respect for what I've done, if I've done it well.
I consider myself primarily artistic and creative support to filmmakers. I am a filmmaker in the sense that I create a lot of the visuals that you see in the projects I work on. I'm pretty much the visual component, designer, creator. And more and more I am writing scripts. I've written scripts for commercials, industrials, promos, and so forth. So.
Go film conferences on speculation, not knowing we're going to make a nickel. We go out, film them, and then we'll go back and we'll sell the tapes right there on site with high-speed duplicating equipment. I'm really into dubs right now, dubbing, recording stuff, and making copies of it.
Sparse.
Sparse and not...
No, everybody has their style.
Experimental, if anything.
Avant-garde?
Well, I don't like that term, avant-garde, because it's real overused at this point.
Well, see, I got to clarify that.
I would just say experimental, because that's everything from music video to short film to, silly movie review shows that you're probably familiar with.
Well, I'm a narrative filmmaker. Most of my work has been in 16 millimeter, and I tell stories. I'm much more interested in creating a fictional story as opposed to maybe doing a documentary.
You write your own scripts?
Almost all the time. Sometimes I collaborate with other people, but primarily I write my own scripts.
These short films or feature?
These are short films, although I would really like to do a feature. It's a question of economics.
What kind? New, for one. I'm trying to get into, or breaking into, industrial videos. I think with the advent of desktop video, there's going to be a whole new market for industrial videos.
I see.
Well, I guess I'm sort of maybe a genre filmmaker. Whatever you can look around and see you have that might be available and turn it into some sort of slap gore, slash 'em up, an opportunistic sort of thing, I guess.
You like slasher films?
Well, not really, but they're the cheapest to make. And at this stage of my life, it seems the most feasible, rational thing to try to do.
I suppose I would consider myself to be an eclectic filmmaker. I do a lot of different kinds of film. Primarily, I earn my living making regional and national commercials and music videos. But I've done almost every other kind of film in my 20-some-odd years of doing this, from documentaries to features to educational material to just about everything.
If it required it, but I don't. For me, I don't really lean in that direction, and filmmaking for me isn't that. There's different kind of filmmakers, certain ones that age 8 have their Super 8 cameras and are blowing up their trains and their cars, but I was never like that. I discovered filmmaking much later. For me, it's just about people, stories.
I don't consider myself much of a filmmaker anymore. I made some films after college. Last film I made was about my son learning how to walk. Caleb Learns to Walk, and it was about a 3-minute piece cut to the theme of Rocky. But
that's interesting.
After that, I couldn't afford to anymore. I'd been having children at such a pace that I just need to make money. I consider myself a technician or a crew person.
Well, what project are you working on now? What project are you working on now? What project are you working on now?
Well, I'm writing a screenplay right now called the Mary M. Fellowship, and it's about a group of 11 sex addicts in recovery together. And it's about their recovery and their addictions, their perversions, and the way in which they have formed a tribe.
Are you going to direct this?
Yeah, and sometimes I think about being in it, but I think that would be too much. So either I'm going to be in it, Kirk, or I'm going to direct it.
And we're doing an experimental video piece that we now have scripted and it's written, but we have to shoot it, and that's going to be something a la Live from Off Center, The Territory, that kind of thing, for that kind of distribution. But basically, it's about relationships.
Not a narrative thing, it's a documentary thing. I seem to be finding work more in the line of documentary stuff. This is putting together a grant proposal to get equipment and tape to videotape a conference that's coming up next spring. There's a group in town called Woman Spirit. It's a nonprofit organization, and they put together a conference last March on women's spirituality, reemergence of the goddess. And it was very interesting. I didn't attend the whole conference, but I did go to the highlight speaker that was open to the public. So I sort of got hooked up with some of these women through other ways, and they found out that I did video and stuff and asked me if I'd be interested in volunteering my time. So I am. Hopefully I'll be paid. There's a promise to be paid, so we'll see what happens. But basically I'm putting together
kind of a package.
A package on videotaping the whole conference.
Right now I'm working on a campaign in Houston. It's for the mayor's race, and I'm doing artwork and art direction for press conferences and videos.
Well, we just wrapped a comedy, Webb Wilder's Horror Hayride. And in that I play a hillbilly henchman, Big Ike.
Big Ike.
Big Ike. It's a comic role, although Ike is a rather dark character. Beats people up, clubs them, pulls guns on them, stuff like that.
Ned Blessing's supposed to be starting filming it supposedly on the 12th, but I heard that was being pushed back to later on, the end of this month, perhaps. And from what I've heard, they haven't auditioned any females, but there aren't exactly too many females in Western, so I guess I can't really expect much.
And then there's a more down-home, earthy, backdoor project I'm trying to get going called Barn of the Blood Llama, which is about these llamas that are driven crazy because of berserk male syndrome, and what they want to do is rut with white women. And that'll be a cheapie, maybe shoot it between $5,000 and $10,000, try to reap 50 or 30 on the other side. And of course nobody gets paid, everybody brown bags it. It's a big freebie, the last big Austin freebie.
Well, we're working on several. I mean, we're always juggling several. We've got some projects that we're working on in Dallas and in Houston and here in Austin. We've had, just came back from, I didn't, but one of my staff just came back from a scout over the weekend, which looks like the show is going to, this is a TV movie called Fugitive Among Us that will probably shoot in Dallas and Galveston. And we've got probably another TV movie and a mini-series that'll go in Houston for the fall. And we're working on some for around here in Austin, which are looking good. And most of this is kind of return business, so that's all good.
It's always been busy. It's amazing.
Well, it's especially been busy here the last few years. I mean, this past year has been very, very good for us, and it mostly has to do with made-for-television movies, which Austin seems to be real popular with right now.
Oh, all the time, all the time. We've got 100 scripts running simultaneously. You name it, we've got it. We've got, like for example, I just got a new script on my desk today. Pee Wee Herman does Debbie Behind the Green Door.
My own projects right now would be a karaoke video. And you were with us up in Dallas when the karaoke idea struck me. And I'm thinking maybe I'm going to try and get out a karaoke Christmas video.
Ned Blessing's coming up, and I'm really hoping to be a saloon girl on that.
That's a cowboy movie.
It's a cowboy movie. It's a Western. It's something I've always wanted to do. They always need a woman like Miss Kitty.
Well,